Hello, world. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. I think, I think, I think all of our power stuff is done for
Do
now.
do we in fact have enough rocket fuel?
I mean, we have enough rocket fuel. That was never the problem. Is that rocket fuel getting efficiently to the places where it is needed? And so my first task for today is just to check that.
Hmm.
And if it is, then I can finally move on with my life to something else.
Now you can actually play the rest of the game.
Yeah. So, and I think that that is going to take the form of magnetic field generators, which once we get, A is one of the project parts that we need for this phase, and then once that is done, I can start transforming those into AI expansion servers. So I've got like Satisfactory modeler here, all like, okay, here's the number of generators I need to output to eventually make as many AI expansion servers as I want, and then, we'll just kind of graft something onto that. So, how about you?
Well, let's see. I was gonna double check some belt merging that's happening out here, and then I want to work on making heat sinks and cooling systems. So
Hmm.
rather than working backwards from a goal, kind of working forward towards a goal, and um, and also because that'll let me keep an eye on all this aluminum and copper stuff that's happening out here that seems to need a little bit of supervision.
How so? Is
Just
it
in,
like backing up?
uh, yeah, there were some backing up issues that I was dealing with last time. Um, let me get this session ID for you. Um,
Awesome.
like I you may remember I made reference to actually having too much plastic.
Yes, I think so.
Uh, hmm, hello, copy and paste thing. There we go. Um, that was essentially what was happening. I wasn't using up plastic fast enough for other stuff to be working properly.
Mm. I mean, I
Uh,
guess
let's
like
let's
I
see.
guess
Let
like
me
the naive thing that I think is, oh, okay, well,
just sync it.
wouldn't it
Yeah.
also think, yeah.
So let's see. Plastic is going into batteries, and we are not running short on batteries. I don't think those are yeah, we have those in good quantities. They're gonna start filling up the box in a bit. Let's see. I'm out here where all this stuff is being made. So one thing I did need to do, I did set up a sink at one of the places where I'm making plastic, because there's a few different places where I'm making plastic, and that's part of the strangeness. Is I've got the plastic that's being made out at your original fuel factory. I've got the little setup for it that I made when we first started needing that stuff, and it's not like scaled up to any serious degree. And then I've got this big setup over here um, that, besides the plastic, also provides petroleum coke to the aluminum manufacturing.
Hmm,
And so the plastic needs to keep being consumed one way or another for enough petroleum coke to get made to get turned into aluminum.
I
That's what
see.
was backing up before.
I see. Okay. Interesting.
So I did add a sink in there, and I'm gonna look at some of my belt merging just to make sure that I have my priorities set in the way I want as well. But that's that's the thing I kind of want to just have a little more supervised, and so that's another good reason to work out here so that I can just make sure that if anything were to back up, I'd see it happening.
Sure. No, that makes sense. Um,
It's like
so
all this
I'm
stuff over here, this plastic is not flowing out at full speed. If I go over here, now this merger, this one is set correctly so that it will take stuff from that other factory before it takes from the small factory, and it's got excess plastic and rubber going into a sink, so it's fine. Over here, I'm gonna swap the priorities to take from the big plastic factory first instead of the fuel plant factory. And this... Oh, that's right, we were using up tons of rubber.
What for?
It was part of that whole fuel thing. We needed tons of rubber for it, and so now this this whole box of rubber is getting gradually filled up again. Okay, in that case,
Oh, yeah.
since the plastic is backed up over here, I'm gonna see if there's enough. Yes, polymer resin is being sunk here. I'm gonna add another refinery to this line, as I said we could do ages and ages ago, and have it make more rubber.
Nice. Okay. And also, while you do that, I am going to... I realized, just like a few moments ago, actually, that we could build alien power augmenters here.
This is
that
true.
would, like, increase the output even more.
Yeah, we were kind of not bothering with those yet, but
Yeah.
I certainly have no objection.
Although I'm realizing that we don't even have the materials to research them yet.
Oh,
Um,
whoops.
Yeah, which is fine. Like, I'm not really too worried about that. Okay, so I'm gonna, knock on wood here, but I'm gonna call the rocket fuel factory good. I haven't seen any of these generators deactivate yet. So I
Nice.
think I got all those fluid dynamics problems done. And I think the fluctuations that the small fluctuations that we're seeing on the graph there, come from the original fuel plant. They would also probably come from the geysers, the geothermal generators, because those have natural fluctuations built into them. So that is fine. Okay, cool. Sweet. I can finally move on and do something else.
Now you can play the rest of the game.
Yeah. Okay. So I determined that we're not gonna build this stuff here. We're gonna do don't really need give me a whole lot to use the resources that I have there, so I'm just gonna leave that alone. Just check all this.
Okay, you're getting rubber and... And we'll just speed up all these belts, because why not?
Yeah. Why not? Right. Okay. So, big old conveyor belts. This way. That's a smart sweater.
Okay, that will do for now. Oh,
This is why we build buffers, so that we always have just a little bit of time to make little changes like that. Cool. Okay, so that's training.
it's another thing I need to be aware of is once storage of batteries fills up, I'll definitely need to be throwing plastic into a sink, because that's kind of the big thing
yeah.
over in this area that's potentially using up plastic.
Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so now that all this is
We're gonna need way more all-clad aluminum sheets. Ingots. Oh. Need more bauxite, eh? Very well.
whoa.
Don't mind me just turning this entire insane spiral into Mark V belts. Yes, the entire thing.
Oh wow. That's gotta be insane.
Oh, nowhere near as insane as setting them up in the first place and having to actually make sure I was doing all the twists at the same
Angle.
angle, yeah.
Yeah. Oof.
There is madness, and then there is madness.
I wouldn't know anything about that. That's good. That and that. This is the distribution.
dispatcher's still here. Fine. I'm up here only briefly.
Connection.
Okay, that's looking nicer.
Okay. I don't quite like how it looks, but oh well, that's fine. Okay, so now we've got the aesthetics of this looking slightly nicer. Let's take a look at Satisfactory modeler and see what resources I need. Okay, so I need iron, limestone, deuterium, and crude oil. So, pull up the Satisfactory map. Where do I find those things? Limestone, iron, deuterium, and crude oil. So, I'll find a place that has all of these, but ideally, I don't need them in like large amounts. So I'm gonna be a little less than picky. So let's see the deuterium up there. Oh, actually, something that would be a really good idea to do before I start doing this would be to head out to the archipelago that I was building on before, and I can grab and I can set up a factory for sand fluctuators there, because we are going to need a lot of those in the future. And I have like reanimated Sam, but that's kind of been I don't know, it has not gone super well. Yeah, sure, that's fine, whatever. Okay, good guy, yeah, I'll leave your property, it's fine, it's all fine.
What you dealing with over there?
Oh, just a big hog was chasing me. I don't know if he still is, but he was very insistent that I get off his property. So who would have thought hogs on an alien planet, just like they do on Earth, believe in castle doctrine.
Okay, well, we could in fact make more all-clad aluminum sheets than this, probably, but for now this will do, which means it's time to start thinking seriously about heat sinks.
Woo. Yeah, like, if nothing else, just slap a dimensional depot on those, and we'll have a real good time.
Interesting.
Because
Interesting.
like,
I can
yeah.
either make heat sinks out of all-clad aluminum sheets and copper sheets, or I can make heat exchangers out of aluminum casings and rubber.
Ooh. Well, aluminum casings should be easier to build, right?
Yeah.
We don't need that.
And yeah, this is interesting. Okay, all right. And I'd get more per minute out of each machine. So let's look at how I might want to do this. Because the casings are already being sent off to do other things. Like those are getting sent off to New Silicon Valley. I feel like I want to go over there and see, like, are they all being used up, or are they just like sitting and being stockpiled?
I mean, my understanding too is that because you set up more bauxite extraction there, you could probably direct more of that to aluminum casings, and then boom, there you go.
Yeah, I'm already making more of those than I am of all-clad sheets. The aluminum case receiving drone is just sitting there, which means New Silicon Valley is getting enough. So, the beauty of it is that I have everything I need to make all of this stuff right near here. So I can do it both ways. I've got copper right here. I've got aluminum right here. I would need to redo my belts a little bit to gracefully bring rubber over here, but that would work as well.
Nice.
So those are all doable things.
Ooh.
Okay, let's...
Huh. It's a new crash site.
Oh.
Or at least one that I haven't seen yet, so... Guess I'm
Well.
gonna go and collect that.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Also, I feel like I was playing Ultra Kill again there for a second. I did this... just slide and unloaded a magazine into a hog. That was great. God, I gotta finish Ultra Kill. I got pretty far, and it's a great game. Like, don't get me wrong. Oh, trans person plays Ultra Kill. Fork found in kitchen, right? But it's just, oh my god, the skill ceiling on that is, there. Wow. Okay, this guy is just dancing here. He's
great.
not stopping. Like,
Yeah,
is he?
that's...
You okay there, buddy?
It's a dead man's party.
Yeah. Who can ask for more? Oh man, you should have seen the other guy.
Speaking of spitters that need to die, these are still hanging around my petroleum products.
100 megabytes. Oh, yeah, that's...
Yeah, boy, I was thinking I was just gonna send plastic over that way, but it is not the case. All right.
Yeah? What's going on?
Well, if I'm gonna be using the heat exchanger recipe, which probably is a better way to do it, and the first thing to do is to add another layer to this belt stack.
Oh, I'm so shocked.
Damaged
I know,
hard drive
right?
recovered. Return it to the MAM for data recovery.
Okay.
Interesting.
I don't think there's anything.
Or left split off.
No, well, yeah, I guess ionized fuel, but I'm not really looking to unlock that just yet.
Didn't you just
Oh,
build the rocket fuel thing?
yeah, and also like ionized fuel requires you to make power shards, and it's not enough of a, uh, it's not enough of a like boost over rocket fuel to really be worth it, I think.
Hmm.
Because like it takes more energy to produce, and so it's like, do you really get enough out of it? Eventually, yes, there is a break-even point. I'm just not sure that I want to invest. If I'm gonna invest that much time, I should just be doing nuclear power, which I have been researching. Yeah, and apparently there's a fairly decent ratio that you can get with uranium power plants that feed plutonium power plants that feed fixonium power plants, where everything is balanced, and you have no net waste that you have to store. And I think once we unlock the things that are necessary for that, then I'll, really start looking into building that. Not because I think we really need it, but because I think it would be a fun logistical challenge to try and solve.
Yeah, it seems fitting that the game would make that particular setup not too painful to set up. Because
Yeah.
that's the whole point of Fixonium, and the Fixonium fuel is to finally make it so you can do tidy, clean nuclear power.
Yeah. Yeah. So that you can, have, yeah. Because, like, eventually,
Oh.
your storage will run out, right? It might take a long time, depending on how many storage containers you set up in your, this is not a place of honor, but like it is finite, and sure, that might take a while, but like that part has always worried me.
So while you were angsting about nuclear power there, usually I don't get the interesting death animations for
Oh yeah,
creatures, but I
yeah.
just killed a spitter that instead of like spinning in place, it just kind of started sliding away.
Oh my god, the fabled moonwalking spitter.
Kinda? You'll have to watch the VOD later.
Yes, I'm definitely gonna have to check that out. That sounds hilarious. Okay. Here. This one is not tracking power over here.
Okay, and then that goes. Yes, all right. That goes there. Okay, I'm definitely using all the plastic now. You're out in a beautiful place.
Me? Yeah. Yeah, not in the like archipelago out here. Because up on that bluff there is a SAM node. that very conveniently has iron right near it. And since I can make iron, I can make steel pipes out of iron, I can make sand fluctuators with it. So I don't need coal to set up steel and all that. So I can just be like, all right, here you go. Here's this, and then I can use that to make sand fluctuators, and then just dump them into a dimensional depot. Speaking of, I've also picked up a few more Mercer spheres, so yay!
Yay!
Yeah.
That's going to need to be stacked as well.
Whoa! Okay. Okay, so the spitter dies, and it seems like his body like reacted very poorly to being on a resource node, and so it just like shot up like several feet into the air and then started spinning.
Well, you know, I hope the loot that was dropped was not on the resource node, because I've had that happen before where it drops its loot on the actual the place where if you try to mouse over it and pick it up, it just shows you what the resource node is.
Thankfully, it
and then
doesn't
you
seem
can't
to
pick
have
it
done
up.
that for me.
Okay. Not that it, breaks the game or anything. You just have loot that you can't pick up, and
Yeah,
and
who
it makes me
wants that?
sad. Okay, so that's that, and now I can start guiding rubber over here.
Still put mine around top of that. Yes, excellent. Yeah, let's go back to Satisfactory modeler. Another outpost here. It's okay. So yeah,
Let's
reanimated.
make this a nice sweeping curve. Yeah, that's better.
Oh, right, and you need iron wire. That's part of it. Do that. Okay.
Okay, copper merges in there. Okay, I'll bring rubber in a different way. Slightly different.
So I can.
I'll figure it out later.
150. Perfect. Oh, yeah, that's not really gonna output that much for sand fluctuators, but you know. Oh, actually,
I feel compelled to go check on those casings anyway. I just want eyes on it.
Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah, we'll just Summers loop that, and then boom, here you go, you're done. Okay, cool.
Yay.
Or at least that gets a number that I'm much more interested in.
Hmm.
Um, so that feeds into. I'm gonna do this slightly differently. One constructor. Feeds into. I'll just oversleep this.
Looks like we got 100 assembly director units.
Woo! Wow, nice. Okay, so this is gonna be reanimated Sam. That. Move it.
Okay, yeah, casings going into those and getting slowly used up. Casings are also over here. You need more computers. Why aren't you getting enough computers? No power. Okay. Cut off power to this section with all my shenanigans earlier. Okay. That's why we have an excess of casings, because things were wrong. Necessary. Yeah, I rearranged some power poles at some point, and that broke something. But that's okay. How are you not powered? Okay, we're getting those again. We just need adaptive control units. Those are being made down here. Once we have computers again, we'll have those. Okay. that will heal itself. I'm glad I checked, and then we'll be back to using more aluminum casings over here. Those things, so at this point
okay, I'm gonna pick up the iron wire recipe here.
okay.
The other alternative is recycled rubber, which I don't really think we're needing right now.
Yeah, not really. You know, I kind of think...
Oh, hey, something that you might be interested in is we have a recipe for alclad casings that takes aluminum and copper and outputs almost double the amount for aluminum casings.
Let me look at that at the MAM, because that does look interesting. Because I'm sitting here
Yeah.
stewing over this, and I'm thinking, you know, based on the surpluses that I think I'm most likely to have, I think I kind of like the standard heatsink recipe better. But let me look at this other alternate here. Let's see.
Yep.
Alclad casing.
Yep.
Yeah, just because of the sheer amount of copper that I have. Let's go ahead and I'll take that, and I'll...
Okay.
Then I'll have it to play around with.
Cool.
Okay, that's been snagged. Because so far I'm just making more and more and more copper wire for batteries.
Mm-hmm.
And... okay, I don't have... oh, all my excess water. This is just going to be my life today, is chasing down where the surplus is and where it isn't.
That's, in the words of a very wise person, that's XCOM, baby. Like, Don't know what to tell you. I wish you could do some form of like cooperative XCOM. Like that would be so good. I absolutely love the new XCOM games. Like, just one of the best revivals of a series I have ever seen in my life. Did you ever play any of the XCOM games?
No, I do play Wilder Myth, which has some similarities.
Hmm.
Like it's turn-based tactical, but like it's got a papercraft art style. So like
Whoa.
imagine you're playing D&D and your game master has just taken it upon themselves to beautifully illustrate everything in colored pencil, and those are the miniatures that they've set up for you. Like that's what it looks
Whoa.
like.
That's really rad. Like,
Yeah.
holy shit. I love that.
Yeah, and so I've got streams of it on YouTube if you want to see what it looks like, and
yeah.
the you know, there's different levels of difficulty. You know, are you in it for the story or are you in it for more of a gameplay challenge, whatever you want to do?
Yeah. What is the story?
So it's a fantasy world, and like the first couple of them start you out with like, yeah, you're kind of a regular person in a village, and you know, monster attacks the town, quick, pick up something to fight them off with, and that determines your starting class. And of course one of the options is a frying pan, because of course it is.
I love that.
Yeah, and so so the first set of monsters you could possibly be dealing with are the Gorgons, which are kind of these Cthulhu-looking things, and
Ooh.
there's different campaigns all have different you know, different enemies that are their star ones, and so it's yeah, turn-based tactical papercraft.
Man, that sounds so unique and cool. I love that.
And people have made mods to add more stories and stuff, and
Yeah.
and I am building the most convoluted set of conveyor belts to make better use of all this aluminum scrap. Really, I just need to give myself more space. I feel like this area needs to be rebuilt,
Yeah?
but I don't know how I want to rebuild it yet. Also, suddenly the all-clad aluminum sheets are backing up. What's going on? Suddenly I'm actually using plastic.
Nice. Question mark?
Question mark. Okay. This needs to be a balanced split instead of matte. Not petroleum coat, plastic. Okay, but that tells me that for right now, what I really need to do is build a heatsink factory over here so that it's far away from this other stuff. At least far enough away that I won't just be constantly crashing into myself. And I can use the aluminum sheets, and I think I'll just use the standard recipe for now, because that will use what I have in quantity. And maybe redoing this area is something I can do later. Does not have to be right this moment. Because if I keep hemming and hawing over it, then it's just not going to get done, and that's not okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are going to head off in this direction. But yeah, definitely one of the hazards as a streamer when playing Wildermyth is that the story sections are a lot to read, because like between fights you'll have like a long conversation between people and kind of a poetic description of where they are, and it's a lot of reading if you're reading it out loud.
Yeah.
Which is fun in its way, but
Yeah.
but
I
have some tea nearby.
Yeah. I was playing when I played Planescape Torment, would do very similar things. I was doing that with my friend of like, okay, you know, let's let me read aloud what's there, and then like, you know, because I'm me and, you know, I'm a drama kid, right? I, you know, would try to do like different voices for all the characters and such.
Yeah.
Which I always like to do stuff like that. I think it's really fun.
Okay, yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is
I need 7 of these guys.
some of these I can then turn into copper sheets without changing too much else. Never said that before. Honestly, this whole setup is a little cramped. It is showing some flaws, but I kind of just want to get things being made.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with what I'm doing here with the sand fluctuators. It's like, yeah, this kind of sucks, and I don't like how any of this looks, but kind of need these being made more than I do the aesthetics. So just
Yeah.
ignore that for now and hope that it doesn't drive me too crazy. And if I really want to, I can come back and do something with it.
Part of it is just the fact that I think I'm less inclined than you are to spend time planning between sessions. Unless there's something, I don't usually have it itching at my brain to the same extent.
That's fair. I might suggest that that is a boon for you, and I would not necessarily wish the strangeness of my brain on anyone.
That's a good looking stack. We can put a splitter on here. Belt is too long. Because of course it is.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I have 10 fluctuators going into a dimensional movement now.
Yay!
So now I can just kind of leave that alone and let it accumulate. So now comes the interesting question of, oh yeah, there's also resource wells. That's worth looking into. Like, isn't there? That's it's actually got like everything I need right there. There's limestone, there's iron, there's caterium. That's a Satisfactory modeler. Yeah, that's more than enough. Crude oil. Oh yeah, I don't need the others in large amounts.
Those are all buffered. What's the problem?
Resource well that you tapped. Where else? Oh, right. It's over by. Where are the others? Okay. Okay. I think the best site that I've found for this is actually out in the desert. And there's copper nearby. There's no. Ooh. Yeah, I guess should be everything. Right. Guess I probably want to have a build near like Sam so that I can do later what would I do? Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I think the best place to do this is out here in the desert, kind of where it's transitioning from the forest? Question mark? I forget which biome this is, but okay.
Cooling
Okay.
system needs nitrogen gas. Okay, well, I'll worry about that later. For now, I think it means I need to have my machines pointed this way.
Alright, so let's head out to the build site and see what we're working with in terms of space. Fortunately, like, the number of buildings that I need for this is not super big, so maybe I can start. Yeah, maybe I can start with making something nice, you know?
Nice is nice.
Yeah. I'm not, I unfortunately forgot to take the time and, like, do the Satisfactory layouts thing where I can be like, oh, okay, you know, I need this many machines, that'll take up this much space, and kind of move things around until I've got, like, a good sense of how much space something will take up. Because, like, that's what I did with the rocket fuel plant, for instance, was I was like, okay, you know, I want to lay this out in a way that, like, you know, makes some sort of logical sense and such. But and I think that's, you know, why that ended up looking as nice as it does. Eventually, maybe I would like to do a some sort of enclosure for that, but it's fine. Like, I'm sort of done with that plant. I don't really want to touch it for a while.
Yeah, that's more than reasonable.
Which I do think is kind of a good note for me for when I go to design the nuclear plant. Is like, oh no, I should do like the design stuff up front because that is going to be just so much logistics, right? That I'm not gonna want to touch that after it's done, right? I'm gonna want to take a screenshot of the cool thing that I built, and then I'm gonna like, to me, that is like, I think that is like the last thing that I want to do on stream. Is okay, you know, we finished, you know, saving the day and all that, and then before we move on to our next game, whatever that is, it'll be like, okay, you know, or, you know, however we wrap this up, I'll just be like, all right, let's hammer out some sort of nuclear plant and make it look nice, take
Yeah.
some cool shots, and then, you know, let's get the hell out of here.
Well, I think before we just take like victory screenshots and GTFO, we should do a nice like victory lap, go all around and like just do a big show off of everything as it is at the end, and then we can each talk about, well, this is the thing that I worked on and this is the thing that I worked
Oh yeah,
on, and it'll make a
yeah.
nice wrapping it up like standalone video at the end.
Oh yeah, I like that a lot actually.
Like it doesn't even need to be one that we do live. We could do it just as a recorded thing, because
Yeah.
then it would be a little easier for me to edit it nicely if we decide, oh, that was a weird thing for me to say. I want to say it differently. I don't know. Whatever
Yeah.
comes of that.
Bold of you to assume that I, of all people, would be like, "Oh no, I said this weird." let me just go back. Hey, can I okay, we'll fix it in post, right?
Well, we could actually fix it in post if we did that. That's Dimensional Depot goes on top. Is there anything that we need like to build by hand that uses heat sinks? Because I'm not sure if we actually need
A dimensional depot.
Yeah. Just I'll make a
well,
small
let's
storage
actually-
for it anyway.
Yeah.
It certainly doesn't need to be a big one.
Items, heatsink. You actually can't craft anything with it by hand.
Okay. Well, maybe we don't really need this then. I'll just keep that out for
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, heatsinks pretty much just go into cooling systems, radio control units, or eventually plutonium fuel rods.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, that
speaking of...
the nuclear plant also kind of demonstrates, or like, any sort of power generation plant sort of is a good example of why I think I have this focus on do all the logistics and production on site as much as possible. Because, oh my god, I do not want a train issue to take out power for everything,
Yeah,
like that's
no.
like a nightmare for me.
Right, cooling device. Okay, that still needs nitrogen gas. Okay. I think I am taking rubber over there, though. Let's see. Rubber, water, and nitrogen gas. I was using rubber over New Silicon Valley, so that's okay. I can work with that.
There's the oil.
So I'm gonna make cooling systems in New Silicon Valley because that's where nitrogen gas is. I have water over there,
Cool.
and that's where I think it will make sense for me to do that.
Is that iron box right over there? Okay. And then where is... It's all the way back there, but that's fine. Okay, so let's look at Satisfactory Modeler.
So I'm kind of thinking that it's time for another drone port.
Well, you've got enough power to support it now.
I totally do. This is my thing now. This is my reality. Stacked belts and drone ports.
Yeah, this is all millennials know is stack belts, eat hot chip, drone port, and lie.
I'm not sure about those last two, but maybe I'm not in tune with things like I should be. Why is that off center? You know what? It doesn't matter. And the nice thing about putting these drone ports right next to each other is they can both get batteries coming in on the same belt.
Nice.
What do you mean Vancouver? No, it's not Vancouver.
Extractor. So it is 60. Okay. Sorry, buddy, but I have come to your desert place to steal your oil. I guess I'm. I guess these aliens are Afghani now. Okay, that's 60. Is this gonna be 120? Yes. Okay. It's not 90 now. This. Right? No. Let's just do 100. Two and 4 enough.
There we go. Oh, that's not what I wanted. That was the wrong place.
Oh.
The batteries need to go in as fuel, not as cargo.
Ah. System.
That's not what I want either.
It should be somewhere here in the west.
There we go. Here's a little thought experiment.
Mm-hmm. Was a fan of those?
All right. Suppose you're able to do a Jedi mind trick, essentially.
Uh-huh.
But you have to choose right now, when you learn the skill, one particular sentence that's the only sentence that it'll ever work with. And
Okay.
it will always be interpreted pretty literally. So a statement that these are not the droids you're looking for will only make sense and work in a sense where someone is actually looking for droids and not metaphorically looking for something that could be metaphorically called droids. What sentence do you choose?
Okay, so just to make sure that I understood the parameters of this correctly.
Mm-hmm.
What sentence, and only that sentence,
Yes.
will essentially, like, be writ into the law of the universe. I speak, and whatever I say in that case will always, like, become true. Assuming that it makes sense.
As said to a person as though it were a Jedi mind trick.
Okay. Okay. That... Very fascinating thought experiment. I'm gonna have to give this a little bit of thinking.
I know, like, the actual optimal answer is one you'd want to think about for a long time, probably, but...
Yeah, but
even a
off
top
the
of head
dome...
answer... Yeah, even a top of head answer is a fun thing to think about.
Yeah, okay. Just off the dome, I feel like some optimized wording version of you feel compelled to donate your wealth.
Okay.
So something where I could say this to, just a random wealthy person, right? I walk into Palo Alto or San Francisco or whatever, right? I go to a fancy restaurant on Sand Hill Road or whatever, and I say that to every, like, rich person there, and see what happens. That could be really fun. I would enjoy that a lot. And I think it would be net good for the world. So, like, I think that's where my brain is going. What do you got?
I had a feeling you would go to that kind of thing first. Honestly, my top of head answer and the kind of thing that made me think of asking you this question is
Yeah.
you're brave enough not to ride your bike on the sidewalk.
I assume that you are saying this to somebody who you wish harm upon.
No, no, no. It again, I need to optimize my wording somewhat, but just something along the lines of the bike lane is right there and you can use it.
Oh, okay. So I see. I don't really. I haven't ridden a bike in a million years. I assume that I assume that what they say about riding a bike is true, and that it's fairly easy to remember. But like, is that a like common problem that people face, where like people just
It
don't use the
it's
bike
just
lanes that
it
they spent so much time building?
it's just a pet peeve of mine. Like the lane is right there. You could use it. You're on an
Yeah.
e-bike. You have a motor. Please get off the heckin' sidewalk.
Is it mostly e-bike people that do that? Or
At this point, I'd say it's a pretty even mix of people on regular bikes and e-bikes and motorized scooters.
hmm.
That is the situation that caused me to think of this question.
Just you just the ability to just look somebody in the eye and go, here, do something that will be a net good for humanity for once in your life, please. I guess actually here's another uh, interesting question, because
Okay.
you are the bikes person
Okay.
uh here. Is what are your feelings on e-bikes and that sort of thing?
Okay. The short answer is toys for Athenians. The the
Whoa, okay.
the
I
the
need I need some context for that. That,
the
like,
the the,
amazing.
the longer nuanced answer is I absolutely respect them as a way of getting to where you're going using, less emissions and stuff. Just for gosh sakes, get off the sidewalk and don't try to tell me that you got over any hills because you did not. The motor that you're using did.
I see. Right, okay. So it's the bike equivalent of stealing valor is what I'm hearing.
A little bit, but I'm not. It's not that I'm seeing people doing that really, and that it really is kind of an ableist sentiment for me to say that. It, it's it's just like people on e-bikes do all the same dumb things that people on regular bikes do, except that they're faster,
Mm.
which comes with its own set of problems. So
Sure.
absolutely respect them as one part of a solution to a problem,
Yeah.
but please not on the sidewalk.
Yeah, that seems so strange to me, that like I guess, like, what is it, just laziness? Like, I think that's the thing that gets me on a certain level. Is like, why would you do that? Right? Like,
Like
why
right
would
on
you
the
ride
sidewalk.
on the sidewalk, right?
Well,
Like, there's
people don't feel safe riding on the street. Maybe they're just not used to it. I mean, I grew up in a situation where like my dad introduced me to riding on the street with cars at a relatively early age. It's like, yeah, when you're making a left turn, you go all the way over into the left turn lane. You're allowed to do that, and that's what you should do. And, not everyone has that background. And yeah, it does require some caution and all that to actually get out into the street. So I think a lot of it is that people just don't necessarily feel safe off the sidewalk. They're not used to it. They just don't care. I don't know. I don't know. I don't feel like it's a laziness thing per se, because the hill is going to be the same whether you're on the sidewalk or not.
Sure. So what I'm hearing, and dear viewers, you can take this as a cold hard fact reported to you by a unbiased source, if you wish, is that Vanya, and definitely not me, thinks that people who ride these sorts of bikes are wusses. I think you said the term was.
It's
Moral cowards, I think, was the phrase I heard.
it's just there's kind of a debate currently about, like, apparently there are, like, bikes that are faster than e-bikes are supposed to be that have been marketed as e-bikes when they really shouldn't be, and like people are trying to figure out ways to regulate those in ways that don't hamper actual e-bikes that don't go that fast. It's kind of a whole thing. It's just
like at a certain point, I guess, like.
And I also know that, just for myself at least, there may come a time when the only way I can get on a bike is to use an e-bike. Like that.
Yeah.
That day may come. I also know that the only way to delay that day as long as possible is for me to stay off an e-bike as long as possible.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And some people are past that point already, and I shouldn't be mean to them about that.
Yeah, but I feel like it is in keeping with my you can mark a point on your Sophia bingo here, because I'm gonna use the word dialectics here, but like dialectically we can say that both of these things are true. Yes, these things are a very useful tool for people who might need them for a legitimate purpose, but that they can also be very annoying when used in ways that are still antisocial.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And the same is true of regular bikes as well. People do a lot of dumb things on regular bikes too, and it just amplifies it when speeds are turned up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure, they said the same thing about cars back when they were introduced. You can do some pretty dumb stuff with a horse, but you can do a lot more dumb stuff with a horseless carriage.
True. I feel like the checks and balances are probably a little different with a horse. Like,
yeah?
Well, there's a cool quote that I heard. I don't know who it was who said this. It was someone in the medieval era or something, that horseback riding is the only thing that a prince, prince, king, royal person, whatever, ever really gets good at, because the horse doesn't care that you're a prince. If you're a jerk to the horse will throw you and not care. And I
love that.
So the horse is the only one giving you honest feedback.
Yeah.
And if you slam on the accelerator of a car, it won't throw you.
Yeah.
At least not until you actually crash into something.
Hmm.
So there's that.
Yeah, no, I like that. That's really good, actually.
I really wish now that I remember where exactly I heard that. Was it
Yeah.
on Time Team? I don't know. I mean, I, I don't remember. It would have been someone. It was fairly recently that I heard this, so it would have been on some history-focused YouTube channel,
Yeah.
which Time Team now counts as.
Yeah. I've never actually heard of them before.
Oh, Time Team's amazing. So they like did a show for a bunch of years. I didn't know about them until seeing them on YouTube, but so Tony Robinson presenting, and then it's this whole team of archaeologists, and they go to all these places in mostly around Great Britain, and they'll get called in to do like an archaeological dig for 3 days. You know, we're going to investigate this place, and we have just 3 days to do it. And sometimes they'll find what they're looking for. Sometimes they'll find something completely different. You know, they're always trying to find a Roman villa, and then the villa's not there, and they find something else. This is a recurring theme, and
Yeah.
and it's Great Britain, so there's like multiple layers of eras of history just all stacked on top of each other in some of these places,
Yeah.
and that's just how it goes in that part of the world.
That is that is so rad.
Yeah. So they've got like tons of episodes on YouTube, and they seem to keep reposting some of the same ones over and over. I don't know what their plan is, but you can watch a lot of them.
I might have to do just that. That sounds extremely rad.
Let's see. I feel like pipe turns too sharply to attach. Okay. Very well. Oh, that was some interesting graphics that was doing for a bit there. Okay, well, there's the nitrogen. I'm not really sure why I need to build 2 of these machines at once, but I guess I'm doing it. I'm sure it'll come in useful at some point.
Yeah, probably.
And the water's down there. That's right. There was one point where I was like sitting in the sandbox, pondering over exactly how I might set up refineries with all this water, and like where to put the floor if I put the fracking thing here, and of course now I don't remember any of it, but it's fine.
Of course.
Of course not. No, why would I remember these things? And now I get to do another. I get to do another plotting out of where all the pipes go.
Two. Very cool. Alright, let's cover these things. Oh, look at that.
Let's see. Yeah. What you got over on your end?
Yeah, so I'm just setting up all of the like refinery stuff. Do this. Actually got a really interesting belt setup that I think you might enjoy looking at.
Ah.
Let me just get this. And then okay. So basic idea with this is you transform this.
Oh, I think I know where you are. Maybe.
Yeah?
Show me your map. Oh, hey, I can look on the map.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. That's where I set up my initial oil setup in my previous
Oh.
game.
Oh, huh.
That's
So I've got
about where that was.
yeah, so I've got oil going into heavy oil residue and rubber. And then the heavy oil residue gets turned into petroleum coke because that'll be used for some foundry stuff later. But what I wanted to show you was this cool little build setup that I've got here for the polymer resin that goes out into the sink, because I don't have any use for it right now.
Uh-huh.
But I've got this very neat little belt here that actually goes right on top of the refineries,
Oh,
like
yeah.
above their output ports, and then it just flows into the merger for the awesome sink there.
Nice.
I really like how that came out.
Yeah, that is cool.
Thank you.
It's a good, well-planned use of space.
Yeah, I like to think so. Right, so now we'll
Huh. Was I planning on hurting things? All right, well. Gonna have to deal with some head lift issues, but that's okay. I knew that was gonna happen.
yeah, I've never been there.
Well, that's just kind of the thing with this water node because it's right at the bottom of this valley. So that's something you're kind of stuck with.
Yeah. Okay. So,
I kind of have the sense that I want to make sure to run this pipe in such a way that it will not be in the way of things.
hmm, let's just go there.
Let's go.
So, limestone is there. Is there. Yeah. Dig this area that I want. Okay. So,
Everything is so obscured in the trees right now.
okay. So, there's coke steel ingots. Yeah.
And yes, I know I could cut down the trees, but no.
Where's the fun in that? Well, you know,
Well,
I
it's a
say
different
they probably cut down a bunch of them earlier, but whatever.
it's a different kind of fun.
Yeah.
And this is gonna be clipping through pieces like mad, and I decided I don't care. And now I need to run the rest of the water pipe.
There we go.
I know I put the pipe in this general direction, and if I keep walking long enough, I'm sure I'll find it.
Yeah.
Like I'm just kind of hauling this hose after me.
All been there. I was doing a lot of that with power earlier.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
certainly
So-
another situation. Oh, there it is. It was right there.
Okay. It's similar for that.
Okay, let's paint this colors that make sense so I don't mix it up with other things. It's kind of amazing how long I've been thinking that at some point I'd probably tap this water node, and now finally I'm doing it. I'm just doing so much more thinking ahead in this playthrough because I'm in more of a position to do it than before.
Whoa. Whoa. Planning in a factory game? Who does that?
I believe you're the one who's using a whole separate program for large
Well,
amounts of that.
That is entirely besides the point. And what exactly the point is, I have no idea. But you know, I'm sure there's one in there somewhere. If
Somewhere
I
in the
cared to
haystack.
look. Yeah.
Well, you stay in the haystack long enough, you will eventually find the point.
the point here being a needle? Is that what we're going with, I guess?
That's what I was going for.
Yeah, okay, cool. I was like, I think I know what you're saying.
Lost the metaphor thread somewhere in there.
Now, if only I had a needle to thread that thread through.
Wasn't there a Mythbusters about finding a needle in a haystack? And they
I believe
devised
that.
all these ways of doing it, and they had to not just use a magnet because one of the needles was a bone needle.
Ah.
I know this happened somewhere, but I'm not sure if it was Mythbusters or somewhere else.
I could see the Mythbusters doing that, honestly.
I did this whole nitrogen gas setup, but I never painted the pipes. Okay, that looks pretty good. It's like I'm not bothered too much by a pipe being unpainted until suddenly there's two different pipes carrying two different things, and then suddenly I'm like, no. These
Yeah.
must be color-coded.
Yeah. I felt very similarly in the past.
Okay, we're gonna need a pump. Down here, if nothing else. Oh, this is out in the middle of nowhere. Not like nowhere, nowhere, but like, oh, I need to run power poles now. Kind of nowhere. There. It's too long for whatever reason. And let's see how far that pump takes it. It might be enough. Yeah, that's enough. Okay, so now I need rubber and I need heat sinks. Yes, okay. Plan on making this a stack belt because we both know what's going to happen. Oh dear, no, that's not what I wanted. It's so easy to accidentally overwrite hotbar settings.
What's funny is I don't actually find myself using those all that much.
Interesting.
Which is like, I definitely recognize that that is, you know, not the most optimal way of doing things or whatever, but yeah, for some reason I just don't end up thinking to do that.
I certainly don't use hotbars as much as I could. Like, I don't tend to use any besides, you know, the first default one. I don't cycle between them. But I definitely do use that one.
I'm gonna pick up a few of these recipes here. So I need rubber concrete.
Sure, go for it. Do I have... Yes, I have a hard drive I could throw in a MAM. Let me throw one down.
Yeah, yeah, sure. So I need thick wire cables. I need
There we go.
steel pipe.
Okay, now I need to bring the heat sinks. This is very exciting.
Hell yeah. Electrode circuit board. Let's go frame.
Now, what I'm not certain of is... Will I be bringing heat sinks in such large quantities as to merit a dedicated port? I don't think so. At least I don't think they're going to be used that fast. We've got a big bin anyway.
So it's gonna be here. So this.
I heard you saying something over there, but couldn't hear what it
Oh.
was.
No, I was just muttering to myself.
Okay.
Need to had to change the direction of how these things were configured. Let's go for the output of those. I guess I should probably do the same here now that I think about it. This. This.
I see where that's going. Okay. I'm gonna need like signposts on my splitters.
I mean, you probably do.
Is that a smart splitter? Yes, it was. More clipping that I choose not to care about. Heat sink. Heat sink. There you go. Ha! Heat sinks. They are being delivered. And cooling system. And cooling system and let's put a double wall outlet here and run this power over. And 1 and 2. Ah, we do need a water pump here. Which honestly is not surprising. think I'm gonna need another pump down here as well. There we go. Okay, we are making cooling systems.
Woo!
Oh. And MAM analysis is complete. Great.
Unfortunately, nothing too interesting.
Yeah, it'll probably just be repeats of what we've seen before.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Actually gonna rescan the one that we just got.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm realizing that I don't have one of the recipes that I want here, which is coke steel ingot. So let me just absolutely double check for that. Yeah. So, rescan and see if I can get that. There we go.
Cool.
And actually, I should probably check to make sure I have all of these. Okay, yeah. Also good. Tempered Caterium.
Okay, is there anywhere in particular that we're making just a huge amount of motors, or is that something I'm gonna need to set up again on my own? I might have somewhere where some are being made. I'll have to check back at the grasslands, because turbo motors are the next thing on my list.
Yeah, I don't have... I don't remember anywhere that's doing that.
Okay, I'm gonna head back to our starting area, throw some things into the hub, and see what I can do about that.
Cool. Oh, that's the old front. Beans. Okay. Should be. Should be right.
Turbo motors will be great. That'll get us one step closer to the thermal propulsion rockets.
Woo!
But I'm gonna need to send lots of motors over there, so I'll have to see what I'm doing about that. heavy modular frame export. That's looking fine. We've got enough of those to do what we're needing to do. At least it sure seems like it so far. I put a radar tower on top of the arch. Which is a perfectly sensible place for it, just looks somewhat striking.
I like that.
Okay, we need 100 of those. We're actually making cooling systems pretty quickly, which is nice.
Can't believe it. I'm also using a stacked belt here. What is wrong with me? What have I become?
You've been infected.
I have!
Sometimes it makes sense.
Sometimes.
And, you know, they give you a specific piece for making stacked belts. There must be some logic to it.
That's true.
Okay, now this is automated wiring. It's not getting enough cable to run full tilt because it's not getting enough wire to run full tilt. How did that happen? I guess there's just not enough wire being made. Like, I sped this up, but that doesn't necessarily mean I made things get manufactured any faster. Now that it's run through all its backlog, there's nothing left.
Hey, get out of here. Hey, we don't serve you tight here.
Why is this motor making machine, which is not getting enough rotors to run at full capacity, why does it have 2 Sombers loops in it? I'm taking these out. That doesn't need to be here. This massive pile of stators also does not need to be here. That is a lot of motors. I'm sure this is a place that... This must have been what we were using before you built the mall.
Yeah, probably. Like, that would make a lot of sense.
So it's so weird because, like, this is obviously something I built, but I have very little conscious memory of having built it, you know?
Yeah.
Clearly we needed all this at some point. This is reinforced iron frames. This is going nowhere. This is smart plating. Weren't you gonna make that somewhere else?
Smart plating? Yeah, I was thinking about it.
Okay.
Never quite got around to doing so, but I can
Hang on.
reprioritize that.
Let's see, smart plating. Let me trace the path of what goes into what. Smart plating. Smart plating goes into modular engines. And modular engine go into thermal propulsion rockets. Okay, yeah, so we will want a good way of making those at some point. I don't think what's here would likely suffice. That must have had a Somers loop in it too, because it's got parentheses on it. But I took that out already. This is where the wire is being made. And honestly, I'm perfectly happy adding to this.
Alright.
Won't fix all our problems, but it'll
It'll help.
add to what we've got a little bit, and it won't hurt. That's a Mark II power pole, so this can't be too early in construction. Sure, let's throw another one on. This thing will take more. And if it somehow doesn't, it'll be no more broken than it is now.
Huh. Ain't that just always the way?
Okay, yeah, that really should only be... supplying 2 machines. Oh, no, it can supply 4. Okay, so this last one is going to run out. Okay, well, that still leaves my other question of what about motors? Why is this bin floating in the air? There must have been something under it. What's in here? Lots and lots of copper sheets.
Ah!
Why are these here? I don't even know.
Is it from when you were doing AI limiters, maybe?
It might have been part of that. I don't even know anymore. Okay, well this is making rotors, and the rotors are going on this extremely slow belt over here. They're being not actually turned into smart plating, and then they're going all the way over here. It's just forensics at this point. It's like, what was I doing? What was I doing? What was I thinking? What was I...
What were you thinking?
What indeed? Okay, so that's making stators. You can never have enough stators. We know this. Okay, well, with more rotors, we could make at least some motors. So sure, let's scale that up. With a faster belt. Just kind of on this very slow march off to wherever they're going. Okay, that's getting more than enough of what it needs. Which means we can make another machine. Why is that a merger? Why is that a merger and not a splitter? What was going on here? I'm sure it must have made sense at the time. Was I planning on using alternate recipes? I don't know. Don't ask me why I'm carrying all these screws, but at least I can throw them in the machine. Now, this can be a merger. bunch of cast screws. Make sure those have fast belts. If there's anything that needs to be on a fast belt, it's a bunch of screws.
That's what Mark V belts are good for, huh?
Yeah, well, they're not too expensive, so I've been just kind of throwing them into a lot of things. Okay, that's making more motors. Let's go check on this wire as well. What's it going off there for? Okay, that's still not getting quite enough, but at least it's more than it was. Big question is, where else is it going? Right, that's making stators, so that's something it actually needs. What's over here? This is modular frames. Are you making those in the mall?
Yes. That I know for sure.
Okay. This is entirely backed up. So where were these frames going? They're going to versatile frameworks, which that's not running anymore.
Yeah, and I'm building those over here now.
Okay. But that's all backed up. I don't need to worry about it running anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably just deconstruct all of that and sync whatever is there.
Probably. But okay, automated wiring is sped up slightly. Not by a huge amount by any means, but... Yeah, if I wanted to actually be efficient about this, I would do something like that. Right now, that's the wiring. Motors, that's what I needed. I just need to send motors in some quantity over to New Silicon Valley, so I can use them to make turbo motors. And for that, at least for now, I can just use this. Is there somewhere you're making motors and putting them into hammerspace?
I do not recall off the top of my head, no.
Okay, because if
Probably
not...
is because the fuel generators required a ton of motors, so they had to be built somewhere.
Okay, let me check them all for them. Because I'm throwing them into hammerspace over there, and maybe that is our actual source of them. In which case, that's pretty funny. And it would certainly explain why the bin isn't full right now. Those are screws. Those are rebar. You know, I think that might be our actual source of motors over there.
Ah, that's hilarious.
Which, you know, isn't the worst thing in the world.
It is a little wild, though.
Pipes here. Yeah, because you've got pipes being stored here. But the pipes aren't being used to make anything, including, say, stators. Which means no motors. So, yeah. All the mall stuff is still
What?
pretty basic. Okay, well that just tells me I can't get rid of the depot. And it also tells me I can't just deconstruct the whole place willy-nilly because that would be bad. Then we'd have no motors.
Yeah.
This floating thing. Oh dear. Okay, so... Right, I don't need that, most likely. The rotors. Yeah, this small storage bin still has like almost 4 stacks worth of space unused, so I think this is what we used and emptied out and is now being replenished.
Huh. Absolutely wild.
Yeah, crazy. Okay, well this means I need to scale up my operations somewhat, because it's not even making motors full tilt. Was I also making motors over there? I didn't think so. Because stators kind of have two purposes, both for motors and for automated wiring. And they're not really connected to each other. That's iron ingots. Right, those are those things. Okay. Well, is there some other way I want to be making motors at this point? I do not, in fact, have alternate recipes for them, but I bet some exist.
Which?
I will check the mail. I didn't catch what you said there.
Which alternate recipes are you
Oh,
looking for?
alternate recipes for motors.
Yes. I know there definitely is.
There's
At least-
rigger motors, and there should be one more. Electric motor.
Right, yeah, because that uses electromagnetic control rods, right?
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, most convenient thing at this point would just be to retool and scale up what's going on here. is this even? Yeah, these are AI limiters. And I'm not really using those over here, so I could tear that down. This is the kind of hemming and hawing where when I was in my solo stream, I would just kind of do all this puzzling off camera and then come back once my thoughts were in order. Less of a position to do that now. Okay, that would be okay, except that it's so cramped. Okay. Step one is move this over. Step one is I'm giving myself a little more room to work with where motors are currently being made. Those will drain out.
In the immortal words of Mario, that's a lot of spaghetti.
It really is.
And
This is kind of a glimpse into whatever the heck I was thinking. So I don't think we're gonna need that.
Oh,
smart
I was
plating
talking
anymore.
about the crazy bullshit I'm doing here.
Oh, okay.
So much spaghetti here, like wow.
$50 per minute. Okay, these both need to get turned up faster. Okay. Is there other ways of making rotors? I'm sure there are. Steel rotor. That would...
That's usually what I use.
Yeah, because you don't need screws for it.
Yeah.
I would need to make even more copper wire, but you know what? I'm making ridiculous amounts of it here. Maybe that's not so bad. Steel pipe. I guess I'm making a lot of that over there too. That would just move the whole operation. All right. Okay, let's try a couple things. Let's... That's a Mark 1 miner. We can do better than that. It is a bit past midnight, so
Oh, wow.
maybe we should, maybe we can stop all this hemming and hawing, and maybe I should spend a while staring at this off screen and come back later.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Let's
think that
see,
sounds.
where are you? You are gonna be all the way up there, so I'm just gonna point the camera at you, and you can show off what you've been working on.
Yeah. Just feel like Eminem here. Like, I've definitely built a factory out of mom's spaghetti here. Because, oh my god, this is, like, it's a little ridiculous. Um, yeah, so, this eventually will output 4 magnetic field generators per minute.
Okay.
From only the resources that we have here on set. So iron, concrete, oil, and then over there is Caterium. And I see this right here is a perfect example of why I wish I had gone through Satisfactory layouts, because then I could be like, oh, oh, here's where all of the, like, weird-ass connections that I would need to do come from. And I'll probably end up doing that before next week, so that I can, lay all of this out in a slightly more sane way. But yeah, it's, it is just a spiraling abyss of mental anguish to look at if you enjoy that sort of thing. Yeah. How about you? Obviously,
Well,
I can't see your stuff, but
yeah,
the viewer
and
can.
yeah, so I mean, it's kind of what. So I'm kind of across the map a bit from what I set up earlier, but we've got heat sinks, we've got cooling systems. You can see I've thrown them into the milestone thingy, so those are being made in
Oh,
quantity. And right now,
yeah.
I'm kind of poring over all of this very old infrastructure for making rotors and wire and early project parts and motors and just kind of all those things back when we were very much still stuck in this area, and just figuring out how I want to retool this to more efficiently make the things that I actually need, namely motors. Because once I'm making motors, I can send those into New Silicon Valley and combine those with other things being made over there to turn them into turbo motors, and then we can throw those into the milestone and turn them into thermal propulsion rockets. So that's there's like several little sub factories here that are all kind of interconnected. And it's like, well, okay, some of them I can probably just tear out, and then some I can say, well, okay, this is the part that's making motors, and I can like tear it up and rebuild it better and mostly keep it where it is, and or make rotors in with the alternate recipes, and that needs even more copper wire than I've got here, and maybe that's not necessarily an issue. It's just there's a lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it's like, okay, quick wire stators, like, okay, maybe that's a thing, because I've got Caterium here. I was making
Yeah.
AI limiters here, which is not at all useful anymore.
Yeah.
So like that I could just tear out. So yeah, there's kind of a lot of different ways I could do this, and really I need to just stare at it for a while and pick one and go for it.
Yeah. I feel that.
Yeah, quick wire stator, that's a good way of doing things, because I don't seem to have a shortage of steel pipe. And I don't think I'm making that in any special way. I'm just making a lot of it. So, yeah, that's what's going on over here. And of course, there's Christmas Town right next door.
Hell yeah.
Not doing anything.
Not anymore.
Yeah, no. So yeah, this can all be dealt with probably a few different ways, but for now, yeah, I would just need to take some time staring at it off screen, I think, or off camera.
Yeah, I've been there.
All right. Well, if you're at a spot where you can safely rest, then I will save the game and send us out of here. Looks like you might be in the middle of a train of thought, so please do finish it first.
Yeah. Yeah, let me just finish. I mean, I find it hilarious that I'm doing this with stuff that I'm telling my head and just deconstructing anyway, but at the very least I'll be able to say like, oh, you know, I got the thing done, you know, it's good. Field generators, power out, I can say at the very least works, it does the thing. Boom, there we go.
Cool. All right, and I am busily syncing what needs syncing in this old AI limiter setup, and I'll use the quick wire here later, but for now that is what it is.
All right, well, we are good to go, I think.
Okay, well, I will sit down right here. I suppose we'll need to get a thumbnail later as well, but that can wait. Maybe I'll march over to where you are and snap it over there.
Get a aerial view of all the spaghetti.
There we go. Ta-da! Okay, out to the outro screen, and okay. All right, well, thank you for joining me.
Of course, thank you for
Thank you.
having me.
Thank you, chat and YouTube friends, for joining us, and I will see who's around to raid.
All right, see you later.
See ya. Let's see. All right, well, Kula Doos is playing Played Up, so I will send y'all over there, and we will be back next Tuesday with more Satisfactory. And I'll be here Thursday evening with Slipstream Rogue Space, and Sunday afternoon for 2 Point Museum with the new Artifacts DLC. So, see y'all later, and thank you for joining us.